Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance playthrough. We are back with Riku, because we finished the Country of the Musketeers, which was great and wonderful, and we've got a heck of a lot of chests to still pick up in there. But it's fine, because we're doing a little bit of ability linking. Annoyingly, I can't get straight to Thundaga right now, but I'll get there. Rocky's been doing a little bit of work. We're able to get a few more abilities, nothing particularly major. Joanne's doing pretty well. We're just gonna kind of work up to Salvation. I think that's sort of our goal with that point. Any Dream Eaters we can make right now? Can I get me Taranta Rex, please? Please? Is there any way I can get Taranta Rex in here? Oh, I'm 2 malleable fantasies away from a flower meow. This is ridiculous. All I want is once more. That's it. Nothing huge, nothing complicated. Just want that ability. Please, for the love of God, give it to me. Oh well, yes, we're going to go straight back into the delight of this Country of the Musketeers, because, as I said, we've got quite a few treasure chests to pick up. 7 to be precise, which, I mean, it's not going to take us, well, we're going to be here for the rest of the part, basically, and then I'm not quite sure what I've lumped at the end there. I can see something that looks vaguely Dream Eatery, if you ask me, sort of sitting there, taunting me for how the end of this part is going to go, but you know what? We'll sit here and we will have a blast. I mean, I suppose this is probably a good time to talk about the fact that I'm still ludicrously hyped for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I mean, there's always going to be the case, and as we get closer and closer to the release date, as of when I'm doing this commentary, it is going to get more and more exciting to me as to what's going to take place. I mean, I can't remember whether it was in my last session that I did, or whether it came out this week. Honestly, my sense of time has gone a little bit wappy. And actually, now that I'm saying this, I do distinctly recall mentioning the trailer, the final battle trailer, which was glorious! And I'm still just completely feeling it, and I am now reaching the point of just like, can you just give me the game now? Like, I really want to play it. There'll be a bit of a delay before you guys actually see any of the stuff that I'll have played, because, I've still got a little bit more to cover with the KH series before KH3 is okay to start being covered. It's only like a game and a bit, and one of those games is only a very short game, but also there are also the extras of Dream Drop Distance here which we need to cover, so we'll see where that all takes me in the end, because I still haven't edited that bit of the footage, which is really daft of me, to be honest, because at the time of recording this, it's 2 days away from Christmas. When it goes up, it will be Christmas Eve, and I will just be going all sorts of Christmassy over everything and having a wonderful time. So, really terrible decision, but I am on a holiday after Christmas Eve. Knowing I've got to work Christmas Eve, like, what is wrong with it? In saying that, obviously there are certain jobs where you kind of have to, there's not much choice, and also me and my boss are kind of taking it in turn, so it's all good. It's been agreed. I'm not just being forced to work Christmas Eve against my will. And by getting Christmas Eve off, I get New Year's Eve off. And that just means that I have a straight run through of days off. I just have the slight weirdness of having a one-day week at work, which is always going to be slightly weird in my head. But these things happen, and you just sort of make do. But yeah, so I'm in an incredibly festive mood, and was also really loving just the hilarious darkness of the Kingdom Hearts Twitter feed the other day, because it was the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, and so they were doing a whole thing of darkness reigning and show sort of all sorts off, and it was just like, yes, go for it, I love it. And really, it does just make me really intrigued by everything that is going to take place in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I still have sort of no. I mean, I've got a sort of major guess of how it's all going to go down, but whether any of that is correct or not is a complete different kettle of fish. But I suppose one of the things that's probably worth mentioning is that despite the fact that Riku's version of Country of the Musketeers is not that big in the grand scheme of things, it's very twisty-turny and windy. And the areas are a little bit confusing to figure out where all the exits are. So it's very, very easy to be on the hunt for chests, which is obviously what I'm doing right now, and not necessarily doing the best of jobs with it, because it's sometimes difficult to tell how they all fit together. And one, if that is what I think it is, then good, that's okay. And I think it's a Jester Bocky, because otherwise, how the hell did I miss that chest? Because it's so blooming obvious. But I'm pretty certain that that is Jester Bocky, so I should be okay. But I know that there was that one massive chest that we couldn't get to, which was in the main hub. But oh, we've got a special portal, so we'll definitely be doing that. Yeah, so it's 10 linked attacks, which really not that difficult to pull off. Because I mean, as you can see, pretty much 2 full combos, all sorted. I like these types of challenges because they're not overly difficult to complete. Sometimes the ones like the complete it in 20 seconds ones are not ideal, because they're either asking you to kill far too many enemies in that amount of time, or they are throwing enemies all over the place for you to go hunt down, and it's a little bit of a nightmare, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. Also, I'm loving that the camera kept getting stuck on that pillar, and I'm also really not a fan of whenever I get stopped, or however you want to call it. It's fine when I do it to an enemy, but definitely not okay when it happens to me. It's the same with like all the status effects, like the freeze and so on and so forth, because you're just stuck there and you're just like, okay, can I play the game now? That would be nice. It'd make me happy. But then they just don't decide to follow through with that. But hey, it could be a hell of a lot worse, because they could be an immediate death sentence. I mean, in some fights they potentially are, but in this sort of general situation, really definitely not that much of a death sentence, because you can pretty much fight back very quickly afterwards and be a-okay. Also, these Mimi Bunnies have got bloody oodles of health. This is ridiculous. It's either oodles of health or a lot of defense, because they were just taking so many blooming hits. And that was not quite the fantasy element that I wanted, and good, I was correct, that is indeed a Jester Bocky. I can feel happy in my missing that chest, because it wasn't actually a chest. Yes! And oh yay, excellent! Although annoyingly it seems that once you've beaten the world you can just go get that normally. That's a bit annoying, but hey, I can live with that. So then the question remains, where are all the other blooming chests? I'm pretty well, I think that there is one that leads outside. Or at least there's an area where there's a room which leads immediately outside. So there's a chance that there might be one in that room. I think I might have missed 1 or 2 on the stage, perhaps? It's very difficult to tell. And that was an instance of, guys, where are you? Bit of support would be nice. This is very much like, you know, Donald not healing you when you desperately need to be healed, because that is a thing that Donald does frequently in the rest of the KH series. Obviously, trailers show something a little bit questionable of Donald doing something, which made us all go, "Ah!" That was my impression of, you know, a reaction video. It's terrible, I know. You know, I would be quite intrigued to see what I would look like doing a reaction video. I mean, I'm pretty sure, because I mean, it's the reason why I don't ever do full-on live playthroughs in terms of me playing and talking and so on and so forth. It's because generally whenever I'm playing something or experiencing something for the first time, I'm generally pretty deadpan, I suppose, in the sense that I just sort of have my serious concentrating face on, and I don't really talk. I mean, there's the whole thing of, obviously, like when I'm going to the cinema, I do not speak when I'm watching a film, because no, that is despicable. You do not speak whilst a film is on. You've paid money to go to the blooming thing. Shut up and deal with it. Oh, this is where the majority of the chests are, because I did pick them up. I did pick up a lot of them when I did the first take of Holy Moly. But then obviously I messed it up. And then obviously I also messed it up by including a death in there that I shouldn't have done. But hey, it happened and we're here now. So yeah, this is probably where the rest of the chests are. So all I need to do is go find them in this big, huge, open area. I'm pretty sure I did end up having to go through this room twice, because I'm pretty sure some blooming monstrosities in a special portal or a battle portal killed me, and I was just like, what are you doing? Why? Because I'd already had the frustration of taking on Holy Moly and failing miserably at it and having to do that fight a couple of times. So to then have to go pick up all the chests again, I lost all patience. It was ridiculous. But at least on this take we know that everything is going to be collected and I will be happy. Because then we're on to the penultimate world of the game, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. We're very, very, very close to the end of Dream Drop Distance. And yeah, everything's going to go completely balmy. Well, I don't quite know what to say there. Oh god. This is what happens when you do a bunch of editing and you forget what you've edited, because then you miss out things like that. Oh well, this is another instance of showing you the method behind the madness. Yeah, that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I get a bit reckless at times, and yeah, I did get quite infuriated trying to pick up all of the chests because of things like that happening. Because I wouldn't say that enemies in this game are necessarily hard, it's just that sometimes it's very easy to get into a situation like what you just saw, where things just went south incredibly quickly. And it was a bit of a challenge to kind of get out of, because Riku's escape methods were not as strong as they perhaps could have been. Slash, you know, I'm just kind of terrible at this game and just muddling on through. I mean, I'd say that I'm probably better at Dream Drop Distance than I am with Birth by Sleep, but I would say that that's probably because it is slightly easier, because you do have the allies of your Dream Eaters helping. They're not always the most helpful things in the world, but they're definitely a lot more helpful than just going through and fighting everything on your own. And considering all the other games and so on and so forth that you've seen on the channel, obviously I completely managed to rock the original Kingdom Hearts. I'm still very proud of that run. I was maybe a little bit overly talkative at the time. Like, I remember just sort of blathering through cutscenes and just going yada 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 yada, fact, 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 fact. And I remember at the time some people getting really annoyed and being like, shut up, you talk too much. And then that was what was just like, okay, maybe I'll need to kind of roll it back a little bit, rethink, and maybe have a slightly sort of different approach to the way in which I do my commentary. And pretty much that change of approach was to, where possible, try not to talk over voice-acted cutscenes so that people can, you know, sit and enjoy them and get the full experience of the story without me blithering over it like a lunatic. But then kind of blather over the ones where there aren't sort of no bits of actual voice work, because at that point who really cares? And the other bit was what was it? Oh, I thought there was a chest up there. How weird. Can't actually remember. I think it was basically, yeah, just talking over the odd voiced cutscene where it felt appropriate, or at least I had something to say that needed saying. And I think that on the whole that has worked out for me quite well over the years. Obviously, as I've gotten closer and closer to me the 10-year mark, I've moved probably backwards a bit in terms of being quite so on it with all of my trivia and all that jazz. And yes, there is all of my lovely treasure chests, so I feel a lot happier now. And we're not doing half bad on getting all the nightmares murdered. Less well on collecting all of the spirits, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. I still want my Tyranta Rex, please. That would be nice. Hopefully we can get our Tyranta Rex in a bit, because as I said, I'm pretty sure that we've got a whole swathe of Dream Eater goodness coming. So fingers crossed there'll be a whole bunch of unlocking going on during that sequence. And also we are going to be doing a little bit now. Because obviously why the hell not? And yes, there is my salvation. It's not the end of Joanne's time with us, but it's getting close. But yeah, let's see, what can we do? Can I make my Tyranta Rex now, please? Can't in this version. Can't do that one either. Maybe if I go into me... Well, I can't make the other one that would give me, which is I believe it's Drac Quack. It's one of the other enemies that we have faced off against in Country of the Musketeers. That is another one which I believe can give you once more if you go through it. And let's see, is anything going to give me a... I mean, that's a halberd, but it's not quite what I want. I wanted a... I want a Tyranta Rex. Please give me a Tyranta Rex. Literally, all I want right now is a Tyranta Rex. That would just make me so happy, and it's not going to happen, and now I feel quite sad. Although that does make me beg the question of what on earth is going to happen in a few minutes' time. 'Cause, yeah, I'm noticing a big chunk of Dream Eater goodness coming up shortly. My guess is that what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get to my save point, leave the world, and then just go, you know what? I'm just going to make all the Dream Eaters possible. Sod the Tyrannosaurus, it'll come in time. I think that's probably my method. So you're going to get to see a lot of Dream Eater building, and that's going to be obviously a wonderful way to spend Christmas Eve. Or, you know, whatever day you're choosing to watch my videos on, if you're watching them at all. I mean, to be honest, if you reach this point in the video, then you're probably going to stay to the end anyway. So yeah. I will say, though, that I am quite looking forward to the next world, because it allows me to return to one of my favourite subjects that really I should actually learn more about, but which I really haven't done as much on as I would really like to, and that's the delight that is classical music, because it seriously is, yeah, one of my favourite subjects to talk about in these sorts of things, because it's that whole thing of bringing culture to video games, which obviously they are culture. That's anybody who makes the argument against that is really, really daft. But bringing sort of more traditional elements of culture into video games and exploring them in relation to all of that, it's one of my favourite pastimes. It's why throughout the many years that I have been doing this, that's sort of the one thing that I've ended up falling onto, because it is always such a delight to discuss and explore, and I suppose in a way it keeps my brain sort of active, because otherwise I know that I'd just be going a little bit crazier than I already am going, but hey, that's what happens. So yes, this was the moment, I think, of just going, right, did that get me anything? Well, it clearly didn't, and then it was just a case of, right, you know what? Let us go and make all of the Dream Eaters. Because you know what? Sometimes you just reach a point of just going, can't be bothered to wait any longer. I just want to see how many of these we can get through. So, I can't remember what naming convention I am on at the present moment in time. So, this will be a fun one for all of us. So, this is a Stagaceps. And what we're calling you then, matey? So this is Paula. So, Paula from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So, we're clearly on the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend train still, which is delightful. I'm still gutted that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's on its last season now, because I was hoping that it would maybe last longer, but 4 seasons worth of excellent musical theatre, TV excellence makes me really happy. Although I can't say that I like the fact that American TV series take breaks over Christmas. Just like, I need Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and The Good Place, please. That is what I need in my life. And I really need to see that through. Stop making me wait, please, because I seem to have gotten really impatient with my TV series as of late. I think it's because Netflix has spoiled me in the fact that I can just watch everything at once, and I just like to binge. So whenever I then have to sit and wait every week for a new episode to turn up, I'm just like, what are you doing to me? Especially when they go on breaks, because then I've got to wait weeks. I'm just like, no, don't want to wait weeks. I want it now. It's really bad. I've just noticed throughout most of this part, there's been a lot of me going, I want it now! I want it now! And it's not a good look, I am aware. I'm pulling off the stereotype of instant gratification millennials, and oh my god, did that halberd, that we now called Heather, just dab. I don't remember the dab being a thing way back when this game came out. I could be wrong though. We've moved very quickly through all sorts of things. I could have sworn like the dab was like last year, and by last year I mean like 2017. It could have been 2016. But yeah, I remember it being a lot later than that. It's crazy to think that the floss was a 2018 thing. Is a 2018 thing. Ugh. And Greg. The one who everyone thinks that Rebecca should probably end up with, and that is delightful, and honestly I ship it. I don't ship many things. I mean, really, I don't tend to get involved in sort of those sorts of fandom discussions, because really they're a little bit messy, shall we say, generally. But, yeah, Rebecca and Greg, totally down for it. I was always quite partial to Ash and Misty. I thought they really deserved to end up together, but they didn't, and... Oh, this is where I'm going now. So we've moved on from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend now to Heather's. It seems, anyway. Because that's the only Martha that I can think of from musical theatre. And it would have been because I called one of them Heather, which was in relation to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, because Heather's amazing. But also, yeah, then just followed through into going there. But then I think we're going to move slightly. Oh no, we are sticking with Heather's. Because JD, a role that I would love to play, but don't have quite the vocal abilities or the abilities to be quite so sexy and suave. Like, you look at me, I am pretty much the small, quirky friend type. I'm not anything, yeah, I can't pull that off. I also can't really pull off the villain / the very dark, broody tone very well. It's like I can do a good old villain laugh. Like, I can do that, but I can't actually really play the villain. I'm slightly too nice for that. And also was slightly too, like, the way I would describe my general aesthetic is it's cute, annoyingly. Like, I've not quite got the, you know, the bulk to really pull anything else off. But that's fine. And to be honest, I wouldn't be any other way. But yes, we're on another one. This is a Thunder Giraffe, obviously. And I believe that we're going to start a new musical now. One that I am so incredibly glad is finally making its way to the West End in 2019. Because, yeah, kind of been waiting on it a while. And, I'm so incredibly excited. It's such a phenomenal show. Dear Evan Hansen. Oh my god! Evan's another role that I would love to play. But, unfortunately, I, once again, don't quite have the vocal chops to pull that one off. I wish I did. I don't. It's because most kind of leading male roles in musical theatre these days are tenors, and I'm very much a baritone. Like, I'm a bit more down here rather than up here. And, yeah, so there are frequently quite a few songs which I really like and really want to sing well. But I have to drop them, like, a couple of semitones in order to actually be able to sing them, because I get to like the higher bits, like I do well for the most of the song, and then I get to like their big final belty high notes, and then my voice just goes like, ah! That was a really bad example. But to actually go for it would end up, you know, just completely murdering my voice for a little bit. And I've got another 2 parts of this playthrough to go today in terms of recording. So, yeah, no, not gonna completely butcher an already slightly tired instrument. Also, I think it's probably time for Joanne to go now, because we've got Salvation, we've got the other thing at some point or another. So, let's bring in... What are we going to bring in? Let's bring in Veronica. She's our highest ranked Dream Eater. She is adorable, and I'm sure will prove to be a great ally over the course of the rest of the game. And also, can I just say how much I love Heathers the musical as well? Like, I'm so glad that made it to the West End, and I loved every second of it. It was incredible and amazing, and I mean, I'm still waiting on the cast album at this moment in time. It's like, guys, could you do me a solid? You said you'd give it to me before Christmas. You kind of haven't yet, so please. But we'll see what occurs on those bits. And also my brain's going, I have Defender, where is it? It's because they're the ones that only sort of stick when you're using the Dream Eaters, rather than automatically being automatically on you once you've leveled it up. Annoying, but there we go. But that is everything done for there. We're done with the questions to the Musketeers. Time to drop and go into the next world with Sora. And for those of you watching on the day it comes out, have a very Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoy the rest of the playthrough. If you're not, still enjoy the rest of the playthrough.